Oh, boys, it is me, voluptuous Vietnamese man here. How are you? I feel like I just need to make this video because I'm excited for next season. We may not get a patch. I don't care. I honestly don't care at this point, okay? I feel like, you know, myself and a lot of other you guys, we're accustomed to not getting much and to surviving off sucking water off stones when it comes to being part of this community for this game. But nevertheless, we have dates, we have things locked in for Season 6, so I wanted to cover that here today. There's been an update in regards to times. I wanted to talk about what I'm doing, what me and the boys are doing, and what I'm running in next season, because I always choose something stupid because I'm autistic, just like a lot of you. That's why you may like me or watch my shit. I don't know. Anyways, Piz Radar has posted, okay, this is 22 hours ago. Season 6 is going to begin on February the 22nd for all players globally, starting February the 22nd at 5 p.m. PST. Now, this was originally 2 p.m. PST. This post has since been updated, and now there is a new one here. So this came out recently. Now updated to 5 p.m. PST for a start time to be consistent with D3, revert back to what we had for the first few D2R seasons. Honestly, I can't even remember when the starting date was from the first few D2R seasons. I don't know, but there we go. So check your times, convert it, put your leave in for work, join the Discord server if you boys want to be an alternate for my team. For myself, this is going to be on 2 p.m. So I'm ready to bust fat loads with the boys, and this is exactly what we're going to be busting. Okay, this is the Throat Throbbers fucking Billy Battalion. Okay, this is what we got. With the recent announcement for the announcement, it's time to start planning. So we've been prepping this for a week before Piz Radar bothered to post another bloody tweet, okay? Which all you other low-life degenerates are willing to live up to the title, post your interest in joining our 8-man, which we have now solidified today, and we have one alternate. So this is what we've got, okay? We have myself. I'm going to be playing a Throw Barbarian only. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video, okay? We have another one of the boys, Seagrapper. He's going to be playing another Barbarian. I believe he's going Pit Circle route, trying to earn some FG or some juicy shit, as he usually does. We've got Sventhel. He's playing another Barbarian. I think he's going the same route too. More of that magic find, that early game potential to try and farm some shit, and like Trav with Hawking is very, very good, you know. We had one alternate switch out, so now we've got Lewis, the local Wayland distributor. Big boy. He just swims in FG. So anything to do with prices, he's usually our go-to. He's going to be doing either sorceress or traps, and we don't know. Hopefully it's a sorceress. So then I heard he's giving us a free hand job for the first person who gives him a Ring of the Apprentice. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Proto, good old Proto. Playing Cold Sork or Foden, depends what we need. Not sure. I reckon maybe a Paladin might be good if we have a sorceress in our team. We've got Brand playing. He's playing a Hawk Barbarian only, so we've got 4 Barbarians already in our team, so I reckon stream is going to be pretty fun once we get to Nightmare. Fuck. 4 Barbarians, Jesus Christ. And I am playing Throw Barb all the way through. I don't know what the other boys are doing, probably something reasonable. We've got Xeno playing Fireclaw Druid, so I'd imagine he'll get into Hell mode and then realize, oh, I hate this build, and then he'll switch to something else, so I'd imagine... yeah, I'd expect that to change. We've got Ineffect playing Enchant Sorceress, so I think we're going to be giving him all the FCR and the res to start and teleport through. So hopefully these boys have better ping than I do, because I'm in New Zealand, which isn't even a real country, basically Australian. We've got Daro, the alternate in here, who's going to be decking out Lightning Strike Amazon, which will take a bit to get some gear, but that's pretty much the team. That's the boys. But why am I doing Throw Barbarian? Why, boys? Okay. So I wanted to choose something this ladder that is a little bit easier to play, to not only play through, but has higher potential in game, because a lot of the off-meta stuff that I try is usually based around like something very specific as the crutch of the build, which really limits it. So like if you're making, let's say, a fire druid that's built around Phoenix or built around a certain item, you need that item. You can't really progress through. It really struggles in budget variance. So I wanted to choose something that I can play through, that is very consistent, that is still somewhat off meta, and that has a very high potential endgame. And I've been doing some testing prior to when Cooley put out his video. That's why I call this better than Cooley, but it's not really. Love you, Cooley. Throw Barbarian. I feel like this was one of the earlier Barbarian builds before I started getting too crazy into things and other people did. It was right on that fence of off meta for Barbarian. I feel like it's been tossed aside. Not many people pick it up and fine tune it, but it is quite high performing if you deck it out right. Okay, so I made a character to test around what a potential endgame setup is going to look like, and here's what I kind of have, and I'll show you that now. So this is not really locked in 100%, but it gives me an idea of the potential. So if you look back a few streams, I have been playing this a little bit. Now, strength is decent. We do have Enigma on here, which is what I want to go for, because the ease of use when farming, that's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to be hunting for this. Prior to Enigma, I reckon I'm probably going to go for a Hustle, I'll be honest. Movement speed is beautiful in conjunction with Frenzy, getting your stacks up. I see that as just being beautiful, bridging that gap of movement speed until we can get that teleport. Dexterity. Extra points in here because the damage translates directly to throw damage. Okay, remember that, boys. That's why we have only 30 base strength and mage plate in here. So I'm absolutely going to be respecing endgame once I get all my shit. Save points, pump and dexterity, more damage, bigger dick. Okay, vitality, everything you need, and energy can just, you know, chuck by the wayside. That's fine. Again, res is kinda easy to cover with a barbarian, which I always love. Very handy. Now, when it comes to skills, they're pretty straightforward, slightly different than other builds. I don't usually cover throw barbarian. That's why I'm looking forward to a kind of fresh playstyle. Now, 1-point wonders across here, 20 into battle orders, pretty easy, 1 into battle command. On my playthrough, I think I might put 1 point down here into battle cry and to taunt, because this does give me minus to enemy defense, which is going to increase my hit rate and a bit more on bosses and things. But until I get something that can apply either amplify or decrepify, such as a lacerator, I feel like that would be a good thing to try. A good thing to put in, particularly if I'm farming solo, you know? If I find like a shitty Reaper's Toll, maybe I get a shitty Lawbringer and set up an Act 5 Mercenary. That could definitely be a route to go for, yeah? Even with Lawbringer, Sanctuary, knocking back lots of shit is not really too much of a worry because I can attack ranged. Rest of the skills, Combat Mastery. No, we don't get benefit from Axe Mastery or other things. We need Throwing Mastery only for throwing weapons. This is great. Good chunk of Pierce, Crit Strike, and chance to not consume quantity. So that means we want to try and get an ethereal weapon so we can maintain. So that's going to be a really fun thing I'm looking forward to hunting. And I'll talk a bit more about what the big ethereal find is we want to try and find. 1-point wonders down here. I was playing around with extra points into stamina. That's kind of irrelevant. Don't worry about that. 1-point wonders on the edge. Combat skills. 1-point wonders all the way down here. 1 into Berserk if I feel like I need it for like an immune. I may not need this end game, but I feel like playing through 1-point wonder down here is kind of worth it, boys. But the rest is maxing double swing, synergy of double throw, couple of extra points into frenzy. You get some stacks up, you're good to go. Obviously, before Enigma, we're going to have 1 into leap, 1 into leap attack for movement. Makes sense. Covering the gear on this variant, one of the main ethereal weapons we want to try and get is this. It's called the Bone Jack, but me and the boys have been calling this the Big Peen. Now, the Big Peen is the ideal throw weapon that you want for this barbarian. In terms of, I was calculating the damage, and I believe this to be the best. If I'm wrong, I'd love to know. I'm very curious. I might be wrong. But in most cases for throw barbs, you boys are probably pretty familiar with the following. You got War Strikes and Lacerators. There's also a couple of quirky things when using throwing weapons, which some of you may not be aware of. So the Deadly Strike on your main hand, it does copy over to your offhand too. So you get 50 on here. It also applies 50 on the offhand, even though there's nothing, inherent that rolls on the Lacerator. That is nice. I also believe that one of the boys was telling me the range of distance of throw is shorter on the knives as well as the axe, but it mimics it the same on your offhand, which is why we want a big peen in a javelin type, okay? We need ethereal javelin. It has further range than both an axe and a throwing knife, so that means the same range is going to be mimicked to my axe on the side, as far as I believe, unless I'm wrong. We want to roll the following stats as the dream big peen. Increase attack speed. At least 20%, 30% is okay, 40% is the max, that would be great. We need over 370 to 380 enhanced damage. It can get a little bit high on 400 ED. I think it goes to 425 if you get two perfect, two rolls on there, and one of them does roll with attack rating too. And then has to be ethereal. The other two stats, don't worry about those there, I know they're fine. But it does not need replenished quantity. We want ethereal javelin with attack speed, massive damage. That is the dream, okay? The big pain. If I get that in conjunction with Eth Lacerator, I'm going to be doing a good chunk of damage. If you look at the sheet damage here, it doesn't really give it too much justice, but you could see 21 to 45, so... Woo-wee, boys! But the rest of the gear that I have here, a few of them can be interchangeable with things, but I'll just go through. So we've got G-Face with a Cham, High Lords, Attack Speed, Deadly Strike, Light Res, Enigma as you've seen, Razor Tail for a bit more Pierce, because with this we're dropping the Pierce from War Strikes. FCR with some attack rating, and FCR with some dual reg. I found that I do need some type of Mana Steel, at least like 1 point with this, because it's so much easier to maintain, it really does. If you come across, you know, some Mana Steel mobs, it's just needed, I've found. Now, Laying of Hands, the 350 damage to demons works the same as a hunch damage just to those targets, so it's kind of just locked in. It's such a good point. You've got things like Drax for lifesteal. I don't think I have that available just here. I do, but you know, that does overwrite things like amplify damage or decrepify, so just be aware if you're using those, okay? Gore Riders is obviously a locked in, you know, but with your two 20%, with your two 10%, we have 20% FCR. That puts us up 1 frame for cast rate. We could drop out something else, maybe the helm for, you know, a circlet for 20 FCR if we wanted, or something like that to get us a bit higher. But that's what I have for damage, and I don't mind the slower FCR frames for high damage output. On Switch with this setup, with my 2 rings, it puts my cast rate over 105 FCR if I have my 2 Suicide Branches. So with this, 1 to all skills on either side, so a slightly higher buff, that's fine. Good resistances, and then we have cast rate, okay? So we can cast around with this, even though we have lower FCR, and we're good to go, boys. I could put a Hodo in here with something else and just drop a little bit of FCR. I'd drop 1 frame down, I'd still be reasonably fast. I'd have more skills to buff up, so there is things to, you know, mix and match. Max damage, charms, pretty, you know, self-explanatory. Annihilus and Hellfire Torch, there we go. Now, Mercenaries, a few options, but I feel like this is probably locked in for in-game, I believe. Now we've got Eth Andes, Eth Fortitude, and a Pride for Thresher. So these we got good attack speed, leech, and then damage from Fortitude. This gives us concentration, bumps our damage up more with the might. Andes is important, the 2 skills bumps up our might further. We could potentially drop Fortitude for Chains of Honor. That gives him more resistances, and it gives us more points into might, so it bumps our damage up slightly more. Not too bad. I'm going to go to... Oh, we're on Players 3. That should be okay. I'm going to go over the Frigid Highlands, which showcase a little bit, and then we'll piss off, because that's about it. If you boys haven't joined the Discord already, if you're looking for someone to play with or whatnot, then, yeah, join the server. I'm happy to have some alternates. Not all of us can play at the same time, different time zones and whatnot, so why not, boys? Chuck yourself in there. Maybe you can hop on stream. You know, I'm just happy to play with whoever. The start of a ladder reset is one of the best experiences playing this game, in my opinion. Everybody's on. Nice fresh start. Everyone's active. Trades are wild. People are wild. Everyone's figuring out their builds. All the boys are on. Talking shit. It's just a good time overall. And this is what you can expect hopping on my streams. We're going to be playing some Throw Barbarian. Where else should we go, boys? Let's go to Canyon of Magi. It's nice and bright. I'm happy with that. But comment down below what you boys are playing start of ladder. Are you playing something off minute? Are you playing something weird? Are you playing something wacky? Are you playing another meta build? Are you playing a Hammerden? I don't see that many Hammerdens nowadays. Okay? Are you playing a Cold Sorceress? You're going to be juicing up some FG. You're starting. Maybe you're just going straight to hunting PvP gear. So then when it comes to mid-season, people get bored, then you've got a heads up on those bozos. I don't know. Let me know down below. If you got some quirky ideas, something you want to see from my throw barb, or I don't know, maybe I'm just building this wrong. Be keen to know. But I think that's enough showcase of this for today. I'll cover more of the throw barbarian as I kind of build through, as I do. And yeah, let's leave it there. Big Chad throw barb, better than Cooley. We're going to be hunting the big peen. F-Jav, 400 ED, attack speed. We'll see if we can do it. But I'll see you boys in a few weeks. Have a good one.